Per usual, we get the most dramatic water swig when I say we live. How you doing?
I'm so tired.
How's your new tattoo?
Oh, good. Hold on.
Yeah,
I am sitting on a bed because that's how I have to do this. I'm in a hotel right now. It's a little plasma-y because it was yesterday. But hold on. I don't want to knock everything over at this point.
Yeah, there it is.
My little ghost rat.
Awesome.
He's my little ghost rat because Brooklyn Horror frequently has, it's Brooklyn, so Pizza Rat year one was their little logo, and the rat has permeated and become their mascot. So
I like it.
To honor Brooklyn Horror in 10 years of me coming and doing cool shit, and it's just a great little festival. So
makes sense for you. Brooklyn Horror is always near and dear to your heart, and also so is Brooklyn. So good pairing there.
I ate so much pizza so far.
Yeah, I've been looking at your pizza pictures. You did better than I did. I only ate. I did eat Meatball Shop. It was so good. And I took someone to Meatball Shop that had never been to Meatball Shop, so it was an excuse to like order the widest variety of things. I ate very well that night, so I ticked the Meatball Shop box, and then also, listen, I went out. I like to go out really late the last night of a convention. I like to treat myself. I don't drink. I don't stay out late when I'm doing the work. But once the work is over, I like to pat myself on the back.
What are you saying about me?
You tolerate it way better than I do. Like you're built for it. I'm not. So I can't play like that. But the last night I was out very, very late, and when I got back to the hotel, like, I brought back 2 like dollar slices with me. I just wanted the greasiest, biggest slices of New York City pizza I could possibly find. And you can bet I found them and then inhaled them.
2 things. 1, guess where I'm going before our meetup tonight?
Where?
Barcelona bar.
Fuck you. Dude.
Me and my friend
don't come to this event trashed.
I'm literally having 1 drink. It is a nostalgic.
Okay. You don't go to Barcelona bar for 1 drink. You go to Barcelona bar for like 24 shots.
No, my God, no. We do 1 or 2. I never used to do that. Okay. Whenever I went to Barcelona bar, I went for like 1 or 2 silly ones. But no, there was someone at the festival, and we were talking, and we were like reminiscing about where we would go, and we were stuck in Midtown, and we were both like, I wonder if Barcelona bar is still open. And it is.
It is. I think it's one of the very few places that has survived since my college years,
which is insane, but also
it's kind of crazy.
It's like they never upkeep it. It literally like was one of those places where the chairs are peeling and like the wood is broken and stuff like that.
They were peeling when I was in school too.
Yeah, I'm gonna a cheeky quick drink before the event tonight at Barcelona bar.
We can say where we're going because it's public knowledge. They announced it. Matt and I are going to the Has Been Hotel on Broadway event tonight, and I'm so excited, Matt. I'm so
really
excited
to see how obviously like it is all put together. Like I'm very excited. Like obviously excited.
So am I.
But like imagining it as a Broadway production, I'm like that's like it's gonna be so cool to see.
I'm curious how they handle it too, because I believe it's a mishmash of like a screening event and live performances. So I have to imagine they're only going to do live performances of songs in the episodes that they're showing. And there's, I mean, I could say. Maybe I won't. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm really excited to see artists that I admire perform live. It's just a different feeling.
Well, especially like when it's so many artists that like do voiceover work and stuff like that, and like they're they're singing.
They're Broadway legends.
Well, no, I know that, but like the characters that we know are like on the screen. So like when you actually get to see the people in person doing the thing that we have, I have seen that as the cartoon character the whole time, and now I get to see you finally doing it, and like
the people and not the animation.
But and then
which character are you most excited to see sing in person form?
I didn't even think about that.
I'm putting you to the test.
I don't want to mess any names up. Hold on.
Well, you could say their character name, and I'll tell you the person's name.
No, I don't want to mess any names up. Okay. I'm probably gonna mess like. You're much better at remembering all of like. Wait, is Keith David going to be there? I didn't look at the. Like,
I wish. I don't believe he was on the list that we announced at Comic-Con.
That would have been if I could have seen Keith David.
I can read you the list because I still have my has-been notes from their panel where we did announce more peoples. So tonight, blah, 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 blah. So Erica is hosting. Okay, so the new people that we announced, I'm just going to read the sentence, actually.
Yeah.
Additional participating cast includes Blake Roman, Amir Talai, Alex Brightman, Christian Borle, Jessica Vosk, Jeremy Jordan, Christina Alabato, blah, blah, blah. Special appearances by Stephanie Beatriz and Kamiko Glenn.
Maybe Vox.
Yeah. Christian Borle is so good.
Yeah, maybe Vox.
I'm also especially excited to see Jessica Vosk perform because they did release Gravity as a single, and it's a fucking banger, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, again, it's everything. I bought the vinyl immediately, you know that, because like everything has been Hostel. The songs were amazing. So
I do not blame you one bit.
No, but and then like going back to what you were saying about like how you back end your hangouts for festivals. It was literally, I landed at midnight on Wednesday, so technically I landed like Thursday morning. I got no sleep. I go to the opening night. It was Queens of the Dead here in Brooklyn Horror, which was phenomenal. And I'd seen it already though, so like I got there basically and just hung out. So I'm hanging out at the main bar. Then there was an after party for the movie at the main bar, so we stayed there in like 11. And a wonderful influence between the both of us was like, "There's an after party. Let's go do that." And I'm like, no sleep, no nothing. And I'm like, sure, why not? And like, I started the festival basically just drinking until 2 a.m. and then ordered a cheeseburger, went home. And that's how I started this festival. So like talking about like trying to power through it, like I've been so fucking tired.
Sounds very on brand for you. I am glad you are making the most of it. We have a big week next week, so I'm trying to not overdo it. Also, when we do go out tonight, I have a ladies' night recording bright and early tomorrow morning, so I will behave. Will behave. But we have fun shit for this weekend.
This weekend, next weekend, like literally
we do. Like nonstop through the holiday, as it should be. I can't believe it's almost Halloween. Do you want to tell everybody a little bit more about Brooklyn Horror, especially Certified Forgotten, please?
Yeah, we did. I mean, for those who don't know, like, I really do come into Brooklyn Horror every year. It like makes me really love the regional film festivals, because as much as we talk about like Fantastic Fest or South by or like the big ones, Toronto, Midnighter, like there are the major film festivals, and they're just so hard to attend, I think, for so many people. Like, you're not going to travel there, you're not going to do that stuff. But I don't know, this upbringing of like all these regional horror film festivals is like so exciting. And so like coming to Brooklyn really like brings that out in me. And it is the 10th year of Brooklyn Horror Film Festival. It is contained completely to the Nighthawk in Williamsburg. For those who know that, for those who don't, it is a wonderful 3-theater dine-in movie theater, like the Alamo Drafthouse, just more locally owned, and you know, a really cool little like indie project for them. And the team behind Brooklyn Horror is so cool. The program is always like interesting in the fact that there really wasn't a lot of overlap this year. Like they found a lot of world premieres. They found a lot of stuff to show here that I had not seen yet. And even outside of that, it reminds me of the privilege that we have as critics and getting to see so much stuff that we do in festivals versus coming to like Brooklyn and like my mentality sometimes being like, oh, you know, they didn't program anything I can review. So like, you know, they didn't really find anything new, when the whole thing is it's all Brooklynites coming here every year. Like it's that communal thing. I come back and it's like seeing the same familiar faces and people who have no idea these movies exist anyway, because they just live here in Brooklyn. Like this is their festival. So I think they've done a really good job striking that community, doing all that stuff. And yeah, we get to come back and do our podcast every year. This year we had Tina Romero, George Romero's daughter, who just wrote, directed, and created Queens of the Dead, a queer zombie horror film. And yeah, we had a nearly packed house. I was a little nervous because, like, you know, I don't know. You do a live show and you're like, who's going to show up? Who's going to actually do it? And not saying that, like, yeah, there you go. And, like, not saying that, like, we had Hall H at Comic-Con. But, you know, we had our little space. It's a Crystal Lake is a Brooklyn-based horror-themed bar. So if you're looking for a horror fix and go drink, like, that's Crystal Lake in Brooklyn. We had the whole back room, and we went for an hour. The conversation was beautiful. She was so goddamn nice and so just, like, insightful. And, you know, there's the part of it where like, two straight dudes named Matt trying to have a conversation about their horror with someone who is ingrained in the industry and stuff. But we got the vote of confidence after, where Tina was like, that was tremendous. Thank you so much for the way you handled that. And I was like, okay, we did good. We didn't fumble.
Beyond and Scream a little more. I did a good deal of Scream Fest last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say Beyond Fest is the big one. So like that's the big right after Fantastic Fest. So like late September, early October is that. And then Scream Fest is usually like right after. So then you have Scream Fest happening maybe like a week or two after that. And that runs for like another week and a half.
Is it like, should it be right now, actually?
So literally it is. Yeah. So it started right before I left. I think like 2 or 3 days before, I guess so last week it started. But yeah, so Scream Fest, Beyond Fest. I'm trying to look, I think there's even more out there too. Because LA is so big and you can just do these micro festivals of like a day or two.
There's definitely other ones. Those are the biggies that always come to mind.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff. I'm happy for you. I knew you guys would crush it.
We did. And like, it's one of those ones where we do it live and we don't record it. Because I don't know. When we do a live show, it's kind of, you gotta come.
I'm not record it. I want to listen.
You gotta be there. That's the incentive.
Okay, that's the only aspect of this production that's getting a thumbs down for me, because I was looking forward to listening and sharing.
You gotta be there to see what we do live.
I mean,
no. It was
part of it's understandable though. It's it's an exclusive for the room, and I feel like especially nowadays where so many conventions are either streaming or being recorded by a bajillion people in the room, there is a charm in that has been lost elsewhere. So it is kind of nice that you do that.
But yeah, so I did wish that was one I wish we had forever though. It was very good. So like it was getting the vote of confidence, getting everything, and just like knowing how well it went over. We're like, wish I had it, but that's the incentive to come see it.
You got the pictures and the memories. It's lovely. I'll briefly talk about New York Comic Con before we do our title topic, and maybe touch on other things if we have time. Warning everybody, this is going to be a short and sweet Merri Hour today, because again, Matt and I are going to the Has Been event tonight. And for me, that means a little bit of a trek into the city. So we are rushing. And also, it's the middle of the workday.
All right, yeah, all of those things.
I got to work too. New York Comic Con was awesome. One of the best things that I got to do while I was there was see Amelia host the Critical Role panel, because she crushed it. It's just so cool seeing a moderator sit on stage with talent from a show, film, tabletop role-playing game, whatever it is, and just like know to your core they feel so right alongside those people. And I think that's the quality that Amelia brings to a Critical Role panel. So any other panel they host anywhere, they would be lucky to have her back. She did a great job.
Yeah.
I hosted a bunch of panels that made me feel really grateful to be on stage with so many cool people celebrating so many things I'm really excited about. First one was The Running Man. Best part about that panel was the fact that Mama Nems was in the audience.
I saw that. Yeah.
Really means a lot to me that some of my family is willing to like come on out and be there for me when something is really important. So it meant a lot to me that she was there and to share that really exciting accomplishment, because I've moderated on main stage before. That marked the very first time I moderated on the Empire stage, which is now New York Comic Con's biggest stage. So I was very, very excited about that. I love Stephen King. I love The Running Man. The clips that they showed in the room were really, really strong. I was really curious to see what an Edgar Wright Running Man movie would look like, especially because the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie and the Stephen King source material tonally feel quite different. And Edgar Wright has a very specific style to his work. So I was really curious to see kind of where he fell within that range, and also how he brought himself to it. And like, it seems like this movie is kind of going to offer a little bit of everything, which excites me. It probably skews closer to the source material. It definitely skews closer to the source material than the Schwarzenegger movie. But like, there does seem to be pops of like fun and color and that kind of like bombastic quality that the 87 movie has. So I'm pumped to see what they do. I
mean, it's Edgar Wright, so like that's gonna happen no matter what. I mean, like even if he didn't like finish Ant-Man, like you still know the parts that he made. Like you can still see his DNA all over it, and Baby Driver down the list. Like it's him. Even his darkest stuff, Last Night in Soho. Like it's still going to be fun and visually inspired, I would assume, and lots of quick
hits. They were also great. Edgar Wright, Glenn Powell, and Lee Pace were just like I always feel honored to moderate, but let me tell you, when you're moderating for like super talented people who are also like really kind and supportive of you and welcome your mother backstage, it's a big deal. So they were lovely.
That's
the
great.
Next one I did was the Has Been Hotel panel, and I mean, it probably goes without saying, that's one of my favorite groups of people in this industry, on this planet. They are just so incredibly easy to chat with, and it's just so easy to host those panels because I'm so enthusiastic about what they're doing.
Yeah.
I can go on and on about how much I love them, but I can assure you, with the season 2 premiere right around the corner, you're going to see me doing that a whole lot on the YouTube channel, all over the internet, on social media. So more of that to come. And then the last one, I flagged this actually, and then I lost it. The other one I did was Welcome to Derry. So I believe I am obviously I've seen episodes. I'm not going to lie to you about that. I hosted their panel, but I believe I'm under embargo until I think it might be the 22nd. So I'm not going to give you thoughts on the series just yet, but at the very least, I could tell you about the panels. I think they selected some like top tier clips to show some really, really great set pieces that showcase a lot of the talent that they have in that ensemble. They are also a lovely group of people. One of my absolute favorite parts of that panel, though, this is probably the panel that had me sweating the most on stage because it was a lot of people and we had a lot of things that we wanted to get to. And it hit a point where answers were so long that we were really, really behind. But I would never get mad about that because every single word that came out of everybody's mouth was like oozing with passion and enthusiasm for what they did and the heart that they put into their work. I wish that panel could have gone on for hours and hours. And that's really all I care about when adapting it in particular, or really any Stephen King novel that I love. All I want is to be able to see the people working on the show and know that like that compass is pointing in the right direction. And I walked off. I knew that was the case before that panel happened. I walked off that stage even more confident that they were taking this in the best possible direction. So I got all the faith in the world in that team.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Like the trailers keep like revealing more and more. Like that draws me in because like I'm not as familiar with obviously the literature as you are, and I need to brush up on a lot of King if I want to catch up. But
I would recommend starting with it. It is and has been for a very long time now my number one Stephen King novel. I'm not just saying this because it's 2025, but The Long Walk has been quite high up on the list. I do like reading and rereading Running Man. That one probably just misses my top 10. Mm-hmm. I also really like his short story compilations too. There's quite a few. I'm going off track. Other things that I did at New York Comic Con that were cool. I covered Cross season 2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really dug season 1. I think that cast is great. They added Matthew Lillard to season 2, so that makes me really, really happy. And he's a delight. I for the first time in forever, Matt, I covered Star Trek. Usually that's Steve's beat, so I don't really get the opportunity. But this time around, because he wasn't there when they came through, I got the chance to do the 2 Star Trek interviews. And, oh, so refreshing. I missed it. I missed Trek. And I'm just really excited in particular for Starfleet Academy. That's their big new show that's coming out in January. And that could be a big deal for all the newer talent that is involved in that. So I'm rooting for them hardcore. What else did I cover? Do you know anything about Primal?
The show?
Yeah.
Third season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know enough about it. Yeah.
I know Gendy, but I did not watch any of that show until New York Comic Con. That's a show. Like, wow.
It's a show.
Those swings, they take some swings at the end of season 2 that I'm like, holy shit, is this happening?
It's been a little bit of a gap though between 2 and 3, right? Like it's not like it was last year. It's been like
no. And I asked him about that. I believe we're gonna run the full interview maybe this week, but he was talking a little bit about why the long wait between season 2 and season 3, and also how different season 3 is gonna be because Spear's a zombie and that completely changes the game. So I'm really curious to see the new new season. But that was a nice, refreshing new thing for me too.
I feel like that's the fun thing of, well, as a critic, as a writer, it's like you go back, write retrospectives about things you haven't seen yet, so like check off boxes, and then like moderating, it's the same thing. Like, sure, I'll take a moderating game because I gotta go watch this thing now. Like, I have a reason to. I have a need to. Versus, all the other stuff we don't have time for.
Yeah, my list is growing. It's getting
so
longer and longer and longer.
Speaking of, I have not seen After the Hunt yet.
Neither have I.
I've missed all my screenings.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously can't speak to whether Luca has lost his touch or not. I mean, I'll never say that after, one movie that doesn't meet my expectations anyway. I don't really think that's ever the case. I think, especially with a prolific filmmaker, you're always bound to like one movie more than another. With this particular one, though, and this particular time of year, what usually has to happen is whenever I am not part of, the first group of award season pundits to see something, I'll turn to my peers and I'll trust their first reactions. And I have to use that to prioritize what I'm going to see next versus what I will push to later in the season. And admittedly, this one fell down the list a little bit after the first reactions came out.
And they were not positive.
No,
they were not glowing. They were not any of that. Enthusiasm has waned on this one. They were not. And I mean, like, I don't know. Has he lost his touch? Like, literally just made challengers end queer. Like, I don't see that as a downgrade. Like, honestly, like, I think if anything, Bones and All was one of his weaker. Oh yeah, no, I know.
I love Bones and All.
I'm aware, but that's the thing. Like, has he lost his touch? No, I do not believe he has lost his touch. I think he's just trying different things, and the man who made a bigger splash cannot lose his touch. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on, Matt, before we talk? Oh, I actually did watch this trailer for a change. This trailer looks awesome. I can't wait for this movie.
I'm all in on that shit.
Yeah, I'm a surprise, huge fan of Sam Raimi doing Sam Raimi. Rachel McAdams being in that movie, Dylan O'Brien, like, fuck yes, sign me up for this.
We also just announced they're done with one of the new Evil Dead
movies.
Yeah, I forget which. Is it the Infested directors or is it the last? I
forget.
Director. Either way.
To be honest, it's Evil Dead Burn.
Right.
So who directed that one?
They had the two going that they took from the two Fantastic Fest directors.
Who directed Evil Dead Burn?
Galuppi or I forget the Infested director how to pronounce it.
Sebastian?
Yeah.
Yes,
Sebastian.
It is his.
It's his. Okay, cool.
So
we're gonna get the more intense one first, probably.
I'll take it.
I shouldn't say that. Obviously, I can be proven wrong, but based on Infested versus Yuma County, I feel like Infested has the chance to be the more in-your-face, visceral, intense Evil Dead experience. And the clip they show of somebody bashing a head in with an object kind of proves that.
Did you watch this teaser? Did they release it?
I think it was just coverage. I don't think they put anything out for it because I did not see anything past what they've released.
I did see it at New York Comic Con. No, it is online. It's this isn't an official. No, never mind.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's official, but I did see it at the convention, and I can't really talk about it.
They announced the third movie. That I did see. Yes, they already announced that the third movie's happening.
I can't talk about the trailer specifically just because I didn't write notes that way.
Yeah,
prepare for this, but I don't know. I dug what I saw. I'm a pretty easy sell with Mortal Kombat, though. Admittedly, I just want to see the classics doing classic things, and I'm going to be a happy person.
I like the first one. I mean, like, listen, I
think we were both in the same boat on that.
Yeah, we were Team Pro the first one, so like, you got to do a lot wrong to make me not like this one by adding Karl Urban. Like, you've already made me happy by putting such an amazing actor in the role, and I know we're gonna get the aged take on Johnny Cage, so I'm okay with that.
He's so cool. That interview is up and running on the Collider Interviews channel. If anyone wants to check it out, that was an especially fun one. All my interviews were fun. They were all fun. All right, do you want to do the spoiler thing?
Yeah, we can do it.
All right. For anybody who has not seen Black Phone 2, this is the point where we say goodbye. We're going to talk Black Phone 2 spoilers, so we don't want to ruin it for anybody, but you've had all weekend. Hopefully you prioritized a movie because it's really good.
And it made a lot of money.
Good. Yeah, it did make a lot of money. I was so happy to see that. Man, it's so nice when high quality filmmaking gets rewarded at the box office.
Yeah. And it's like Blumhouse needed it too a little bit, but they're going to be fine once Five Nights comes out.
Well, yeah, that was another interview that I did at Comic-Con. Emma Tommy came in, and it was nice. It was nice getting to chat with her in person, because I think we've almost, or at least recently, I think we spoke in person for The Wind once or twice, but we'd only been talking through virtual interviews for a little while. So it was nice to get reunited, and she just it was another interview where it's just so like abundantly clear that she really cares about what she's making. You hope that's true of everybody, but hopefully you know what I mean, where it's different when that enthusiasm is just so palpable that you believe to your core that property is in the best possible hands. And I believe that with her and that sequel.
Hell yeah.
Black Phone 2 spoilers. Where do you want it? Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
Oh, you can start it. I want to see where it goes.
Well, okay. So I'll bring up one thing that I don't know if I've said this. I mean, I imagine I haven't said this out loud in any video, because it does lean a little spoilery, but I think I did say something to this effect to Scott Derrickson when he came to our Fantastic Fest studio. I'm obsessed with how they use Super 8 in this movie.
Yeah.
I like, just in general, I think the way it's incorporated into the story, like just the visual style of it, and also how I believe his name is Atticus Derrickson, Scott Derrickson's son, who did the score for the movie. I think the way his score pairs with the Super 8 style is just so incredibly effective. But one of my favorite things about it is, so Scott Derrickson uses Super 8 a lot in his movies. You have Sinister, where it's the most like vicious thing imaginable. It's so, when those tapes play, it is so fucking dark and evil. Then you have the use of it in Black Phone, which is dark, maybe not as dark as Sinister, but it's dark and it's scary. And like, again, it's like it's fucking evil and scary. Then you have the use of Super 8 here, where it's almost like Gwen takes away Super 8's power.
Yeah, it's hers now.
It's like she fucking assumes control. Like this medium that, and I believe Scott has said this, that does have an inherently dark and twisted quality to it. Like you still have it as it always was, but because she is finding her power and like forcing light into this situation, it changes it.
Yeah, I mean, because it's the whole thing of using the Super 8 to translate between reality and the dreamland and stuff like that.
That is
so you have the visual note of it. You have the visual kind of storytelling detail, which is, again, easy for us and great. Like that's when you have filmmakers that are thinking of everything and just thinking of ways to make it, again, like more digestible, and there's no real kind of like getting lost in the moment. I don't know, like Derrickson is thinking of things in a way that like is so nice, but I think it also adds to this like the dream quality, yes, but almost like this like, again, home video feel.
Yeah.
And you have like the graininess and you have all this stuff that makes it kind of just feel fantastical and crazy and out there. And then I really liked it because that's juxtaposed between the scene where she's getting thrown around like a fucking rag doll and her blood is flying everywhere, and like it's just so evil in those moments, and that's the reality portion of it. And like you said, she is now not safe, but like she is controlling now she wants to be there. She wants to be in the Super 8 land and stuff like that. So like, I think it's just really effective the way that they use visual storytelling as a medium, and just like not only traditional, let's say.
Another thing that came to mind while we were addressing that, and I'm paraphrasing here, so I don't know if I'm repeating Scott's words perfectly, but he had mentioned something to me about how like the script was confusing to some people, which I kind of get. And, he elaborated a little and basically said something to the effect of, when you have a movie that's jumping from the real world to the dream world, and you have to like have a little heading on every scene to address where you are, that can be hard to read on the page. I didn't read the script. I can't comment on that. But even if that was the case, seeing how seamless the finished product is incredibly impressive. Like really, I my eyes saw what it needed to see at every given moment in this movie, and I just fully understood everything. Also, where the shift from dream world to reality, like, never felt jarring. It always felt right. I feel like having a movie like this flow as well as it does is a significant feat.
Yeah, I was gonna say I never had any issue with it too. Like it's again, it's the strength of visual storytelling versus just writing a script going linearly and kind of just keeping it one tone. Like no, you like you said, putting little headers on everything is like the right way to say it. Like the header here is just something we can easily see on the screen. We don't even have to read any text. There's no added stuff like that. Like it is very smart the way, oh well, we can clearly denote where we are just by the way we're basically seeing things. So no, I think that was always great. And it's also like trusting the process in a way. Like, people who might have read the script and go, oh, how are we going to make this? How are we going to make it so people are always understanding? Like, you just trust us. Like just trust us. Like we've done this before. Like it's a good thing. So I feel like, Derrickson earning that kind of trust too, even like one step more of like, no, I got this. Don't worry. We're going to make it like pretty clear for everyone. It's going to be like very easy to go through. So that is again a testament to a filmmaker who knows everything that he wants to do. Like it's not just one single kind of like vision. It is so encompassing and thinking of all like meticulous stuff, thinking of like everything additional. And I think Black Phone does that. And again, like my gripes aside of just, thinking that it takes a lot of build up to get to where it is at its best, but like that still doesn't take away the fact that like I am impressed by everything about it. Like at the beginning stuff, I think someone just said their favorite scene was like I think it was Mirror Domains, but yeah, right there. Like when Gwen calls out Finn's coping use, like yeah, like that had to be there. Like that is good shit. Like that is good character building, especially where we were like from the first movie and years later trying to figure out, what does this look like now? How do we deal with PTSD? How do we deal with all this stuff? Like because there's so much carryover from that first movie to deal with.
Yeah.
It's always going to be like, a fucking 10-course meal, not even a 5-course meal.
I liked that scene quite a bit. I think my favorite scene, I'm going to cheat and pick 2 favorite scenes. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is when you have Finn and Gwen's dad arrive at camp and they all essentially have this super emotional conversation together. I think, and I've said this, I think that for Madeleine McGraw and Mason Thames, I've seen them both deliver phenomenal work. I think that particular scene is probably my favorite performance beat for each of them now. I think they're both brilliant there. I'm also just fascinated by how Derrickson blocks that scene. It's so interesting to see them standing having this like really intimate emotional conversation, but like in a triangle and at a distance from one another. Like there's
interesting.
Like there's something about it that never takes away from the emotion, but still like, I don't know, like still keeps it dangerous. And also in my mind, keeping that distance between them makes it a really satisfying conversation, but not a conversation that fixes everything, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, like there's takes a long time to fix some things.
Well, yeah. But I just mean as far as like the blocking supports that without actually them stating at the end of the conversation, like, well, we found some common ground, but not all of it yet.
Right, like having to say the things out loud and just like directly tell the audience versus letting them infer it. And again, if they pick it, like you're just saying, like you picked it up so easily just by the blocking. So it's like that's how you notice the good stuff.
It's exceptional. That was one of my favorites. And then another one that I thought was another brilliant performance beat, because a scene like this can very, very easily fall flat, suck the air out of the end of the movie, is the phone conversation that Gwen has with her mother.
Oh yeah. That's a hard one.
Madeleine McGraw ate that scene ate it up. That is real. I mean, really, the whole movie hinges on that scene. And I think the success of that scene helps Black Phone 2 achieve one of my favorite things that the original movie achieved. Again, Black Phone is a very, very dark, vicious movie. It's scary. But it also manages to be hopeful at the end and really emphasize the fact that, it's a bunch of kids seizing their power against a masked villain and coming together and stopping him as a team. And I think that particular phone conversation is that moment, probably more so for Gwen specifically, but I also think for Gwen and Finney as a brother-sister duo who have these abilities. So
yeah, I
good
definitely.
on her for sticking that landing as well as she did.
I was gonna say, I think this one's even more hopeful, like in the way that
Yeah.
they kind of address that. Like they do
Agreed.
a really good shot of. I think Jeremy Davies again, like the father character, is a part of that because you have basically the rewriting of him. Like
Yeah.
definitely, it's about getting to the point where he is a better person and all that stuff. But like it feels like a full rewrite almost.
I did not think that was gonna.
Yeah.
If you had told me they were going to try to redeem that character in film 2, I'd be like, oh, that might be a leap.
Yeah.
But watching him learn and try to fix what he did in the first film.
Well, and then just again, I think like Gwen coming into the lead role, like obviously Finney is very much as a part of this as well, and very much so. But Gwen really taking that like leading charge and being this like clairvoyant medium character who can use supernatural powers like for good. Like it's handled, I think, again, way better than I thought it would work because like there's a whole Friday the 13th movie about this shit, and like that one's one of my least favorites. And like it's you can shoehorn it in, you can find ways to make it happen, but like I think we were talking even like years ago about if there was going to be a Black Phone 2, like where it would go, and the thing came up of like, well, Gwen's right there. You can use Gwen to like unlock the potential to use her powers and go forward. And I think this is the best way that they could have found the way to do that. Like they find the way to make Gwen's powers even more powerful, make it the crux of the movie, and make it like this open door now to go forward if they want to. But like they did it in still like a super meaningful way and kept it in the family, kept it in this origin idea for the grabber. And again, one of my gripes is I feel like the grabber was a little underserved here, and the family elements absolutely should take over because again, this is about so many things carrying over from the first movie. But by the time we got to the grabber, I was almost like, oh, that's right. We're doing that too.
Oh, I thought that made all the sense in the world. I think that leaned into the fact that like the grabber was dead in the first movie. And I think there's a line that says, again, I'm not going to repeat this perfectly, but I think it was something to the effect of like this is all that's left of him. Like there's literally no reason to focus on the grabber because like this is grabber in hell at this point.
Yeah, but like it's grabber in hell at this point, but like it's also the first time it's grabber in hell at this point. And I feel like they're pushing it that far to where it became the conflict to say like when it actually gets violent, when it actually gets all that stuff. Again, I like the movie. This is I really enjoy this movie, but I felt the runtime. I felt a little bit of that stuff. So that's where it gets me because like that whole lake scene at the end is so fucking good. Like Ethan
I
Hawke,
love that scene.
And like Ethan Hawke demanding to be in the mask and doing this stuff himself. Absolutely perfect. Like I love that he was like, we're doing this.
All of the scenes that show off the grabber's new abilities are so, like we brought up the kitchen scene briefly, the scene with her in the phone booth and also in the bunk. I mean, that is some really well photographed and executed horror. So good.
And like fucking vicious. Like we've watched how many horror movies, and like that kitchen scene is going to be one that I think about for so long.
And it's like it's so different. Yes, it like someone brought this up earlier too. I'm not going to find the chat sadly, but hopefully I can give you a shout out if you want to drop it in the chat again now. But someone had brought up the fact that this movie feels very Nightmare on Elm Street, and I think this is a prime example of a movie embracing something that came before it, but also making it so uniquely its own and well suited to the rules and the lore that they have created. So I don't know. I feel like we often we often kind of like write off or put a negative feel to a movie that is so heavily using something else as an influence. But I think this is a prime example of how to do it and how to do it well, how to do it in a way that feels like it's honoring. That's the specific word I need to focus on, honoring what came before it, but also putting its own spin on it to, further the craft and further the genre and further their specific world.
Yeah. There's no rip off here. Like it is connected to Nightmare on Elm Street just by the themes, just by what it's doing. But like Black Phone 2, like I said in my review, it is the closest we're going to get to Freddy Krueger until they figure that right situation out. So like, I'm fine with that.
I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm fine with that because it is doing it in a way that is still wholly unique to the story it is telling. It is still wholly unique to like everything that is Black Phone. It's not a cheap ripoff. It's what you said. It's honoring, but also it's the idea that everything is familiar in storytelling. It's how you basically make it individual to yourself and how you take the familiar and give it your own twist. And I feel like that is something that Derrickson and Cargill did tremendously. And I would not use the word ripoff. And if you do, like you said, like it's just, we could do that about any movie.
Yeah, exactly.
We sit here and nitpick and be like, that's about this, that's about that. Like, sure, we cite influences when we talk about movies and write our reviews, and we say, oh, like obviously we see inspirations, we see where this comes from, and sure, it's connected to it, but like it's complimentary to say like, yeah, like Black Phone 2 is the closest we're gonna get to Freddy Krueger. That's a good thing. Like, that's not a bad thing.
All right, want to hit this super chat and then call it an episode?
I think it's exactly what I said before. Legitimately keep going. Like, I think we keep going with Gwen, and maybe that's, I'm trying to think of a world where it's not just the grabber and it's other killers, and it doesn't have to be just about the grabber. And now she is going to other cases that are still unsolved and like putting others to justice, because that opens the door for like an anthology format. That opens the door for like different.
Well, a lot of people in the chat today suggested a TV series, and I can very much understand why.
Yeah, TV series. But like, I like the idea of Ethan Hawke is still there, the grabber's still there, but like let somebody else like Ethan Hawke come in and be a new villain, like something like that.
Admittedly, I have a hard time picturing a Black Phone movie without the grabber, but I also don't want to take away from them completing their mission in Black Phone 2 by bringing the grabber back in another way. I'm also a little hesitant to answer this question, but I think it's for good reason. So when we were talking about the potential of a Black Phone 2 after the first movie came out, I think we were both like, I don't know about that. Feels like close the book on this story. And then what Black Phone 2 wound up being, I think is so, this is why I'm on this side of the industry and not the other. What Black Phone 2 wound up being is so like beyond my reach creatively. I never in a million years would have guessed that Cargill, Derrickson, and Joe Hill would have come up with this particular concept. So that's why I'm hesitant to answer the question. The one thing that I will say, though, is I do think it needs to continue to have the Gwen and Finn relationship at the heart. Like, I don't mind it skewing in her direction, but I do think that their brother-sister duo needs to be the backbone of it forever. And I would also like Ernesto to continue to be in the picture.
Ernesto is great. Right.
Miguel Mora grew on me in this new role in a really big way. I thought he did brilliant work again. He's so different from Robin, but he also is honoring Robin in a way the whole movie. I quite liked his presence as well.
Well, like it could be a whole like guilt thing. It could be a whole thing of like, I have these powers now, and if I don't use them for the ultimate good, and like Finney would absolutely be part of that. Like, they can become the saviors. They can become these people that like bring others to justice. So like that's how I see where like they can still retain the core of their relationship and like their experiences with the grabber and like flashbacks. So like it's still all that stuff. But I feel like there's a lot of uncharted territory with also being like, okay, I'm now being thrust into a position where if I don't use my powers for good, I'm wasting them. And like that could also be like a conflict inside Gwen, where it's like, do I take care of myself or do I give myself over completely and try to go solve crimes around the world?
I really do think that could be a good avenue to pursue. I think we should get a prequel a few years before with Ethan Hawke and set after he left the camp and killed the kids. A lot of wiggle room. Ethan is a must.
Yeah, because then you go like human, but like the kids aren't involved then, because then you're human Ethan, and it's just
I lean Finney and Gwen way more so than I do the grabber.
Yeah.
And I'll just read this too because I want to give Miguel more shout out. Shout out to the actor who played Ernesto. I didn't realize that was the same kid who played Robin until Perry's interview. Miguel also said something, and so did Mason during that interview that really struck me. Like, and I love when I hear things in interviews after having seen a movie and knowing that, like, I could feel that. Like, I felt your intention in your performance. Like, one thing Miguel said was that he was playing Ernie in a way where, like, Ernie kind of recognizes that a lot of the kids around him were probably like bummed that the cool brother is the one they don't have anymore, which is really interesting. And then with the butting of heads between Ernie and Finn, you know, and this speaks to why, I mean, I guess I can kind of call it stunt casting because it's the same actor playing both roles, but stunt casting with purpose, I should say. Mason was saying that one big thing that he kept in mind was that Finn doesn't really like him and has a hard time looking at him because all he sees is Robin, which, you know, that's a way to say so much without literally saying it. So I thought they did great work. Great work. All right. With that, we're out of here. We'll both be posting a lot on social media tonight. I wonder if they're going to let us take videos of the performances. Is it Broadway rules?
I mean,
or do they want Has Been Hotel season 2 promotion? We'll find out.
No, I hope they don't. I hope no one takes their phone out and we just get to be in that experience.
If they don't let us takes our phones out, if they don't let the people in attendance take their phones out, I have a feeling that Prime Video is properly filming the event and will
release it.
This is just me guessing. I don't know anything, but it feels to me like ideal promotion for season 2. Not that season 2 needs it. I'm sure it's going to do phenomenally well, but you host an event like this, you want to use it for promotion.
No, I'm with you.
Where can everyone find your wonderful work on the internet?
You can find me, as always, at Donatobomb, and that's Blue Sky, that's Letterboxd, and that's Instagram. Also a little TikTok. But yeah, I have a lot of catching up to do with Brooklyn Horror. I've spent the last 4 days having fun and seeing friends, and I now have to do all the work that comes along with that. So reviews of Queens of the Dead, reviews of other horror movies that I've been seeing. I've seen some good ones here too. So we'll have a few coming back. So follow me on the socials, Donatobomb.
You earned the fun. You can find all of my New York Comic Con interviews, and I did a lot. It was a challenging convention just because I took on so much work, and I'm really proud of all the interviews that I did. So if you could go on the Collider Interviews YouTube channel and like them and share them and hopefully enjoy them, they are all going to be there. I will also tease in advance that I have a ladies' night running on October 22nd, which I believe is Wednesday, that I'm very, very excited about because one of my all-time favorite guests returned to the show. Lizzie Broadway is back on the show, and she's talking about the Gen V season 2 finale. So basically, right when you watch the finale, the first destination should be the Collider Ladies Night YouTube channel. And I promise you that chat will be very well worth your while. She is lovely. So check that out. And until next time, we'll see you next week for new Merri Hour. Maybe in person, maybe virtual.
I was like, really? What's happening?
Maybe.
No,
all right.
We will.
Oh, wait. And it's not the weekend. It's the week. Have a lovely week, everybody. We will see you this weekend in some way, shape, or form with a new Merri Hour. Goodbye.